I really appreciate you wanting to share with our community on your experience with us so far. I mean, we are just getting going. But I'm wondering if one, you would share kind of what life was looking like before you found us.
Well, I was kind of in that no hope stage. I was my joints were getting stiff. I was stumbling. I couldn't remember anything. Head was so cloudy. I had no will to get up and do anything. And I felt like by the end of the year I wouldn't be able to done anything.
That was one of the most stark things that you shared with me when at our 3 month review, uh, where you said that. I mean, that's a pretty massive statement there. You said, "Look, I didn't think I was going to make it to the end of the year."
Yeah, I just felt like everything was going downhill so quick that it was just kind of snowballing on me.
Now, when we first met through consult and test kit bundle, I'm curious, how did you make the decision to engage with us?
I just, well, I know how medicine is, and I hate taking medicine. And everything I've seen on the neurologists do, they give you this cordopa lupa,
Hmm.
and they check you in 6 months, you get worse, they up the dose. They check you in 6 months, you get worse, they up the dose, and the side effects on it's about as bad as the Parkinson's. I didn't want to go that route.
Got it. And was that helping? Were the medications, you didn't take the medications at all?
I took them, and it just seemed like it's just making things worse.
And how long did you have the diagnosis of Parkinson's before you found us?
Uh, about a year.
About a year.
I didn't get tested till after I got on Medicaid,
Got it.
self-insured.
And what was the result? So we're what, 4.5, almost 5 months after the brain regeneration camp. What what has improved? What have you noticed?
Well, going along one day, and I realized I wasn't hurting. My joints wasn't stiff, and other people were noticing at work that I was moving better than I was. It just kind of hit me all at once there, like about 2.5 months or something.
I love
Kind of,
it. I love it.
kind of snuck up on me.
One of the things, so one, we had a missed call and I talked to your son, and I like asking family members, well, what have you noticed about your dad? He said, I mean, he just had no hesitation. He just said he is so much better. Um, with you sharing that, you felt like you were going to die by the end of the year because things were just accelerating so much. You gave me a percentage of how much just internally you feel like you've gotten better. What will you share that with our listeners and viewers here?
Well, I feel like I'm at least 75% better, and everything's pretty much gone except the shaking.
Yeah. And you
Still
said,
fighting me.
and that has changed as well. So how has that changed?
Well, it's not as violent, but it's more constant now. Seem like. Um,
Got it. So I take that as change is good, right? So there's three things in a program where I see there's no change, there's a worsening of symptoms or improvement of symptoms. Of course, we're going for improvement. No change is a much deeper seated issue. Worsening of symptoms or a change in those symptoms where you said it's not as violent, but it's more constant means we're making change. And when you think about this, we're changing at central nervous system level where you're noticing, aches and pains and the joints have gone away. Um, your energy is up. You had said, 75%. You say that so nonchalantly, like, well, it's about 75% improved. What what other components, like what goes into that thinking? Well, how do you gauge, like, what does that 75% represent for you? What do you put into
it's
that?
it's probably more than that, but I work with my hands, and my hands shake, and I get so aggravated with that sometimes. It just really bugs the tar out of me. So I've counted that to be 25%.
Got it. And we're still, it's still early in the process, and so there is expected continued improvement as we go forward here. You've continued on the supplementation.
Yeah.
Will you speak a little bit about your week at the camp?
Well, it was stuff I'd never been through before in my life. Never dreamed of it, but I really enjoyed the hyperbaric oxygen.
Uh-huh.
I noticed, I got thinking about it. I played card games on my phone while I was in there, and I practically won every game. So I think that's the oxygen getting to the brain. I was able to do that. But that's
You're not
kind of
winning
unusual.
every game now?
Not every game, but I win a lot of them.
Okay. Okay. That's awesome. What else stood out for that week?
Phone call tried to come through.
Oh, that's all right. What else
Uh,
stood out in the week that you were out?
the stem cell treatment was very unusual, and I have a needle phobia. Here I had acupuncture and that too. Kind of last treatment there I had, kind of hard to get out of my arm, and I come home, my arm all black and blue,
Oh,
big
got it.
place there.
Yep.
But it was very unusual, but it seemed to do the job.
Awesome. What would you say, David, to anybody that's considering our brain regeneration camp and or the test kit bundle? It's you got to kind of step into this trusting component of us. What would you share to anybody thinking about it or considering giving this a go?
Well, I'd say to anybody doing it not to follow the normal way of taking medicine and upping your dosage all the time and just getting worse all the time. Try to do something different. And your old system seems to have a good activity of working and stuff, which maybe changes in me. And a lot of people I've heard on here even made better changes than I have. But I think that's the way to go. Anything you can do more natural, let your body do more of the work, but using chemicals to try to do that, the best way to go.
Lovely. Thank you for that. One of the components is, we all compare ourselves to others. And looking at like, hey, well, I still have this 25%. And of course, I work with my hands and that symptom is still there. The innate intelligence of how your body heals, that is a mystery. But did you think that did you have any hope uh, for improvement before you met us?
No, I didn't. I've seen the track record, and I've never seen any improvement in the track record that I've seen.
And do you come on the Wednesday calls at all?
Yeah, I try to get on most of them there.
And have there been any things in those coaching calls that you've implemented or that you found valuable?
Yeah, there's been a few things.
Anything in
Diet's been a
particular?
big change in me.
Your diet.
Yeah, you all started me on a diet, low inflammation and gluten-free diet about a month before I went out there.
Yeah.
And in that time, I've lost 45 pounds,
You've
not even
lost.
trying to lose weight.
Yeah. So that was before you came out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was 225 wearing size 40 pants. Now I'm 180 wearing 36s that are falling off of me.
Wow. That's awesome. That's the foundational component that I find, when you go to see the traditional neurologist, they're not going to address your diet. They say, oh, the diet has no role here. To us, treating you as a heart-centered dynamic being moving through time and space, that does not make any sense. That you're a complete picture. Of course, we have to address all of these facets of you. That's why we start with the test kit bundle like we do, and then we make those recommendations on that report of findings to set the stage and the foundation for you to come out and get transformation. And so that, thank you for following the plan and implementing, because, we've asked you to do some stuff, but you are feeling better. I mean, and that component, you're so low key uh, on, well, I'm 75% improved, and but my joints don't ache. I've lost all of this weight. Uh, but the piece why I wanted to get you on and have you share was that you didn't think you were going to make it. Like the wheels were coming off the bus right
Yeah.
before you got engaged with us. So, David, I just want to thank you for coming on and sharing your story with us, and it's going to make a difference for a lot of folks. So, thank you.
I hope so.